For years, Brooklyn ice hockey fans have seen plenty of youth hockey all the way up to semi-pro at venues like Abe Stark Arena and Aviator Sportsplex. But these days, we're about a month into the first season for a hockey team everyone knows. They're the newest tenants at the Barclays Center. That's where the New York Islanders are on the ice putting the biscuit in the basket. And joining me for a discussion about our new local NHL team as their own hockey prospects this season at Xaverian High School are Joseph Esposito, assistant coach at Xaverian High School. Welcome, Coach, back again, right? It's been about a year.
Yeah, just about.
And also Jerome Emanuel. He's a senior and also a defenseman at Xaverian High School. Welcome, Jerome.
Thank you.
All right. First, before we get into your team, I want to talk about the Islanders. Coming here to Brooklyn, what does that mean to hockey fans? I know across the city, but especially hockey fans in Brooklyn who had to travel to Long Island or travel to Madison Square Garden to see the Rangers. You had to travel to Long Island to see the Islanders last year.
Yeah. Well, it brings hockey a lot closer to home instead of me traveling all the way to Nassau Coliseum to play, and it helps us, since we have a good relationship with them, hopefully we get a chance to play at Barclays Center instead of Nassau Coliseum.
And is there a buzz throughout neighborhoods in Brooklyn, or T-shirts, hats, that sort of thing?
Yeah, definitely, a lot more than before, because before it was more or less like Rangers since it was closer, and now that they're changing their logos and stuff, it's a lot more buzz.
And especially, Coach, because Brooklyn, as far as I know, was a big basketball town, the Nets. I mean, you see shirts, hats, jackets, everything with, the Brooklyn Nets. Do you feel that same buzz also throughout this borough, and also especially amongst your players?
Yeah, I honestly feel like, ever since the Aviator came around, I feel like there's been more buzz around Brooklyn hockey in general, and now that the Islanders are in Brooklyn and Barclays Center, and that the Riveters are in the Aviator, now the new women's professional team, it's really drumming up a lot of youth hockey interest, and I think there'll be a lot more players in the future coming to play hockey for us, and just in general.
As far as your relationship also, I guess you're on the path of building a relationship also with the Islanders.
Yeah, we used to play games at Nassau Coliseum, and we used to have that kind of relationship with them. We hope to bring that into Barclays Center as well, hopefully this year. So last year we played at Nassau Coliseum with them.
Yeah, because that's pretty major we have a basketball team, and now we have a hockey team, so that's pretty big.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It'll be good for us to play at Barclays Center and bring more kids into Xaverian than before, so.
Because because Brooklyn has always been a big basketball town, but now hockey is now here.
Yeah.
We had several semi-pro teams out there at the Aviator. You had semi-pro teams at Abe Stark Arena, and now we have our own professional team.
We finally have a professional team, yeah, and I feel like having the professional team here will definitely drum up some more youth interest. Get the kids more into it. Because we have the Rangers in MSG, but that's still kind of far from Brooklyn. And, the Islanders used to be far from Brooklyn, so now they're in Brooklyn. I feel like that'll bring up a lot more kids what's that? Let me go see that. And maybe they start playing at a younger age, get some better players, coming through the system.
And also, as far as the clinics, so you think they're going to hold more clinics throughout the borough or maybe at the Aviator too?
I'm sure they will start holding some clinics there. I'm pretty sure they will. A lot of the pro teams hold clinics where they play. I think they used to hold them in Long Island, so now hopefully they'll hold them around here.
You used to go out Long Island. You saw play out in Long Island a lot last year. You recently also attended some games here. What is the difference also between seeing the games in Long Island and seeing the games now here in Brooklyn?
The difference is a lot more fans come out and support, and a lot more people want to get into hockey more, so it's better. Long Island is used to having hockey around, and Brooklyn it's used to having football, mostly basketball around, so there's a lot of
Is there a different spin on it too, you feel, Coach?
Yeah, I do. I feel like just a lot more interest in general, because back in Nassau Coliseum it was hard to get to. A lot of people had to take their cars there and all that stuff, and that becomes a hassle at points. It wasn't pretty much in the middle of nowhere, and now you have the Long Island Railroad here, you have subways here, anybody can get to it. It's easy to reach Barclays Center. They're going to have a lot more people attending the games.
So, I want to talk about your season last year. It's a very, and you are in your last year. Coach, your assistant coach, your father, who I speak to several times over the phone, and we always discussing your team and your upcoming season. Your season starts next week, right?
Yes.
On the 20th at Aviator, right?
Yes.
What was last year like? Let's go over last season.
So last season we got up to a little bit of a rough start. We put ourselves in a little hole first, but as the season went on, we kind of brought everything together because we had a lot of freshmen coming in. We didn't have so many upperclassmen, and we got down to the point where we missed the playoffs by one game. We made a nice run at the end, and the two games we missed by, we actually tied the first place team twice instead of beating them when we could have. We were ahead, and we lost the lead. And that could have put us in the playoffs, but hopefully this year we'll do better.
Yeah, then again, like I said, we got up to a rough start. We also started our season later than other teams had, so that put us behind by a lot, and we had to make up for it. So it was really hard.
Now, you're in the New York Catholic High School Hockey League.
Yes.
And it's you and St. Edmunds here, also here in Brooklyn.
Yes.
It has the other hockey team. What are some of the other teams throughout the city?
Well, they have Xavier in Manhattan. They have we have McClancy now, who just started another team again. I think they're in, I want to say either Queens or the Bronx. We have St. Mary's, that's our first game against. They're on Long Island. So yeah, that's pretty much.
You also have a major following, from what I gather, as far as that attend your games at the Aviator Sportsplex. Explain that. What's that like? Because your games are late at night.
Yeah.
Hockey, high school hockey. I mean, you may have a game 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. It'll go into 12, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's really hard because, like, when you get home, like, you're really tired, and sometimes you have games, they're late on, like, Mondays, like Wednesday nights, and you have school the next day. And, like, it's hard to, like, get fans to come sometimes, like, during those weekdays. So it's really tough.
But you have a lot of fans also to come to these games.
Yeah, our Friday night
Some
home games at Aviator, yeah.
Ruly fans too, also, right?
Yeah, our Friday night games at Aviator it's like electric in the building. It's always packed. There's always, like, fans are going nuts for us, and it's difficult in the other teams to try to play in that kind of atmosphere because you see all these kids and the fans. You don't usually see that for high school hockey, and we have that because Aviator obviously is like a big place, and it's easy for everybody to get to from the neighborhood, so it's easy to get a big crowd going in there. And some of the other teams get intimidated by that kind of atmosphere.
How long have you been playing this game?
I've been playing since I was 9.
And what came first, the skates or ice skates or the stick?
I would say ice skates.
How'd it come about?
Well, I used to watch my sister roller skate all the time at Empire roller skating rink, and I just wanted to try it. So I tried roller skating at first, and I saw Aviator had hockey, and my mom was like, you should try skating, public skating a few times, and just try hockey. So skates came first.
So your season starts next week, Coach,
Yes.
right? And how many games also you have throughout the year?
I think it's either 14 to 16 usually around. We always play each team twice, once at home and once away. So.
And you also will face St. Edmunds, your crosstown rival. How did you guys do against St. Edmunds last year?
Just like you said, we tied them twice, and it really killed us when we should have beat them.
We tied them the first time. It was actually a high score, 6-6, and the second time we beat them. Pretty solid game. We ended up coming out on top, though.
Well, Coach, we will be out there to, check your team out this
Sounds
year for
good.
sure, starting
good.
probably sometime in January. Right? Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.